Okay, now here to weigh in on all this is former White House advisor for the Trump administration and the host of America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Sebastian Gorka. Seb, you know, how ironic, President's Day, he's not even on American soil. And then we learn Trump is going to go to East Palestine, Ohio, where Biden couldn't find the time to do so.
Yeah, it's truly stunning. So earlier today, our mutual buddy, John Solomon, interviewed President Trump, and he let go with both barrels, no holds barred. He said this is the president for globalists on President's Day, on the day when we celebrate great Americans like George Washington. Where's the current incumbent of the White House? He's in Kiev, and it takes the former president to announce that he's actually going to go to Ohio to be with the Americans who are suffering right now on U.S. soil. But it's okay. I was reading while I was listening to your great monologue. I was reading online, Eric, that it's all right. So Mayor Pete, you know, Boot Edge, he's written a letter to the CEO of Norfolk Southern, the train company. So everything's going to be fine. He's written a letter.
Yeah,
Eric.
yeah, you know, and I wonder about that. I have conversations with so many. I have some liberal friends, in New York City mostly, and we had this conversation. They love Pete Buttigieg. They just think he is the next. He's the anointed one to be their next president. They believe. And I said, you know, he's made so many missteps. He had misstep when he was in Portugal during the rail strike or potential rail strike. You know, he dropped the ball on the electric, you know, gas prices were up, buy an electric car. And this one where he literally said, don't worry, East Palestine and all you people, all you conservatives. You know, East Palestine's one of 1,000 like him every year, but it's not, Seb, is it?
Well, I'd like to ask your liberal buddies, what has he done? What has he accomplished that so impresses them, that makes them think that he should be the first, gay president of the United States?
They think he's so smart. They think he's so measured. They think he's fair. They think he's more, more middle of the road Democrat than some of the hardliners like Kamala or some of the other ones who may want to, have eye on the prize. But you know, I'll give him that he's a reserved individual, but is he competent?
Well, what you should do is on these handy-dandy things on your phone, you should save the video or just a screen grab of that seminal moment that defines Mayor Pete. That moment where 2 blocks away from the department that he's supposed to head, he stops his security detail and says, guys, stop the SUV, get my bicycle out of the back. And somebody films him being handed the bicycle that he uses to ride the last 300 feet to his office so he can look environmentally friendly while his security detail with the big V8 SUVs is trailing behind. That's who Mayor Pete is. Also, they may like to Google who his daddy is, because Mayor Pete's late father was lauded by the American Socialist Party of America, by the chief page for the Marxism, the pro-Marxist organization in America, as the most famous historian of one of the most dangerous communists in the world, Antonio Gramsci. That man who came up with the idea, you can't have a Marxist revolution in a developed nation like America. You've got to take over the institutions from the inside, what was later called the Long March through the institutions. The man who wrote the translations of Antonio Gramsci's Marxist plan to take over countries like America, that man was Mayor Pete's father. So these things are not a coincidence, that the fact that that individual is now a cabinet member of an American government. Yeah, join the dots, dear friends, connect the dots.
And look at him, he didn't go to East Palestine, and people were saying, why didn't he? Maybe, he's playing his cards right. He doesn't want to outshine the president of the United States by showing up there. Seb, why President's Day? I mean, Biden could clearly have taken President's Day, made some sort of, historic speech or make himself feel good and proper and presidential, and then gone tomorrow, secretly gone out tonight. But for some reason, this just feels like a purposeful, coinciding with our President's Day, that he's off American soil.
Well, look, your problem, Eric, is that you're logical and that you have a brain. These people, don't judge them by our standards, by our American standards, by common sense, by logic. This is the same man. Let's just remind all of the Newsmax viewers, this is the same man who, after we surrendered Afghanistan, left $83 billion worth of equipment there. 13 Americans, Marines, a corpsman, and a Green Beret, were murdered by ISIS at the airport we surrendered to the Taliban. This is the same president who, a few days later, stood in the Oval Office and said, "We are so proud of this operation." That's the same guy. 13 people dead, thousands killed. I mean, do you remember the footage of our plane leaving the airport with Afghans clinging on the outside, falling thousands of feet from that airframe? Joe Biden is proud of that, Eric. That's how disconnected these people are.
He takes victory laps over some of the craziest things where regular Americans, common sense Americans, even middle of the road Americans, independents would say, I'm not sure you want to call Afghanistan a victory. I'm not sure you want to say inflation is a victory under your watch. Seb, I'm not sure, I don't know who advised him to do this on President's Day, but that Tony Blinken, whoever it is, should be escorted out. Seb, always good having you on, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Tune in Sunday night, the Gorka Reality Check.
We always do. Make sure you do. All right, thanks, Seb.